International Business Assignment 1. Okay, so we've got P1. What you need to do is explain the business environment in which a selected organisation operates. P2 is to describe the mechanisms that regulate international trade. M1 is to assess the methods of international trade between countries and the methods to restrict trade between countries. And D1 is to evaluate the potential problems faced by business that trade internationally, entering new markets. What I'd suggest you do is you focus on the material we've gone through in class and stuff that I've uploaded. I would really, if I were you, I'd focus on things like Nissan and focus on what's happened to them and how they've reacted. So basically you're working for Nissan in the UK and basically you're unsure of the economic and trading environment in the UK. You need to construct a report for this. You'll need to research potential data and include in your review and be able to discuss what support there is for your business and the potential problems. So the first part for P1 is this: to consider the importance of international business to Nissan and the UK economy. You need to consider the following things. So I'm going to go through these point by point. The economic value of international trade, we have looked at that as a statistic. It's a hard thing to do, but you do have it as a statistic in your workbook. Globalisation and its impact on UK car manufacturing. Again, that's something we've looked at. You can have a look at it in your workbook. Balance of trade. Remember, that's different to balance of payments. But examine what the balance of trade is, what the value of it is. Those are good statistics to put in. Balance of payments. Again, what is it? What is the value of it? Again, good things to put in. Movement of labour, basically what's going on with labour in the UK in terms of immigration and migration. Foreign investment in the UK, Nissan is a really good example of that. You could just find out why they invested in the UK, especially in Sunderland. What were the things that attracted them to the UK? What did they get in return? International competition, who are Nissan's international competition? How do they react after it? How do they actually react to it? If you do these things, you will get P1. Task 2. Basically, you need to review the factors that encourage or restrict international trade. This can explore the following factors. This is much harder. We went through the theory of this in class. It's much more difficult. Remember, think about what the benefits are to protection as well as the negatives. But we'll go through these factors. So free trade. What is free trade? What does it do? What's the benefit of business? What's the negative side? Especially to domestic industries. We have gone through that in class. Have a look at the definitions. Have a look at the Q&A that we did, the little matching exercise. And you should be able to get a good description of what that actually is without resorting to Google. Membership of the European Union and or the European Economic Area or the Single Market. What does that do? For Nissan, what's the positives, what's the negatives, what's the positives and negatives for the country? Remember, there's that the video, the FT video, which is put up on the front of Moodle. I would strongly recommend you look at that. Membership of the World Trade Organization, that's really important, but also look at the rules which govern world trade. That's very pertinent at the moment, very important, especially looking at tariffs. Embargoes. What is an embargo? What does it do? Does it have a motive behind it? Especially important thinking about motive. What is an embargo? Quota. What is a quota? So basically, why would you restrict the number of things coming in, which is essentially what a quota is? Why would you restrict that? What's the benefit? Tariffs, which kind of come under the WTO rules again, but tariffs. What is a tariff? What does it do? What are the positives and the negatives? To develop further, you need to consider the purpose of promoting and restricting international trades. Make sure you identify how and why Nissan might be used, and the potential benefits and costs they could cause for Nissan. So, what are the issues there? Basically, what are the issues? What are the potential benefits and costs? So, what is the benefit of free trade? What's the cost? think about what might be in benefit of Nissan, but you need to go through that and develop it further to actually make it applicable to the company. It might be worth having a look at that little video, also going through your notes and going through the theory, especially some of the graphs that we looked at. So D1, assess the possible impacts of problems posed by operating in international markets, particularly when entering new markets. For Nissan, this could include the potential impacts on Brexit on Nissan, and how different models will potentially impact on trade for the EU. Look at the FT video, that has a lot of good information which you could use, and you just have to apply it to Nissan. The different regulations which Nissan might have to follow from different countries, so basically embargoes and tariffs. Supply chain or production issues, which we've looked at before. Labour movement and regulation in different countries. It might be worth actually highlighting Britain and any potential impacts in terms of restricting movement. Competition and facing Nissan in different countries. We looked at Germany in class. That's a good example. What does that mean for Nissan? Is it easy for them to move into markets or difficult? Issues for Nissan entering developing markets. So maybe thinking about something like Africa. What are the kind of issues that they have to face, especially in an undeveloped market? If you do all these things, you should get D1. We have gone through it in class, and the evidence is in your workbook, so you just need to apply it and go through it. Good luck. Thank you.